Mm. Hey y'all, what's the tea? My hair's wobbly. I need it cut. Good afternoon. Well, it's evening. Duh. Good evening. Hey Darnell. Hey Brandon. Hey everybody. Hello, 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 hello. Hey Ren. Hello, my love. Before the sun rises, after it goes down. I remember that song. I love you. I tell you over and over again. Relax your mind. We can be free together. After it comes, I don't remember the words, but it's all right now. Everything is all right. It's old school Shantae Moore. How was everybody's week? My week was really fucking busy. Do I have anything to show and tell? No, I don't have nothing that I have been that isn't new. Maybe some books. I mean, oh, here's something. Life Sentences. This is a book edited by Thomas Avina. It has poets. One of the notable Black ones is Essex Hemphill. It's life sentences. It's of writers and artists and aides. It talks. It's just really poetry, writing, and essays of people who was going through the AIDS epidemic, and they were writing and talking about it as it was going on. So, it's quite good. It is called Life Sentences, and yes, Life Sentences. But there's a bunch of great poems in there by Essex Hemphill, and so I guess this is what I have to show. That was close that I like and love. Put it over here. They might like this. This is not. This is not. This is a Toni Morrison book, but it's not one of her like. It's her book, but it's not one of her like novels. It's Thanks, Gianna. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is Playing in the Dark. Ain't Tony looking regal and sickening? B. Ain't you looking sickening? Yes, it is Playing in the Dark. Whiteness and the Literary Imagination. It is just her critiquing literature and whiteness in literature and how the greats, like the greats in literature, like Faulkner and Dickerson, the great whites. One of the reasons why their writing was great is because they had because of racism, because they had a racial text, and so race is a part of everything. So the irony, one of the reason why that book is ironic is because a lot of critiques of Toni Morrison, even though she was an amazing writer, everybody was like, when is she going to come out of talking about Black people and talk about real stuff? Like, racism, blah, 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 blah. As if, in her words, as if our lives have no meaning, they have no. And it's funny, I can recite Toni because I sleep to Toni Morrison. Like I sleep to her. Like I have like interviews of Toni Morrison. I have ripped the sound from them and created a playlist that I sleep to. Isn't that crazy? But that is one of my idols, so I love her. Yes, 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 yes. Sid, yes. You know, I have a friend named Samantha Masters. If you don't know her, she is organizer out of DC, Baltimore, and the DMV area. And she, you might not have heard of her, but she is the Mama's bailout that they do every year, where they're bailing out Black mamas for Mother's Day. She's one of those organizers that organize that. She runs that. So, just so y'all know, she hit me up and she was like, Diamond, you need to watch PValley. Stop playing. Stop playing in our face. You need to watch it, bitch. And she's like, as a matter of fact, she was like, here's a Zoom. You're watching it with me right now. And so we get on Zoom and she shared her screen and we watch all the current episodes of PValley and we talk through them. And you know, she convinced me to watch it, even though you know, Isaiah Washington was harassing me on Twitter about not watching it because of him. So yes. It was great. So that's why I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna do a live about it because this is our culture, and I'm a person that love to critique our culture, and I would be remiss if I didn't talk about it. And plus, it's good. It's actually good, and so I wanted to kind of see what everybody's thinking about it, and talk about it. Yay! Oh, now that song is going to be stuck in my head. Hello, my love. Before the sun rises, after it goes down, I love you. Fuck Isaiah Crosby. Yes, he is funny. But the good thing about Isaiah's character is he is not playing a redeeming character. His character is who I think he is. The mayor is who I think he is as a person. So I can see how that could be cool for him. Perfect for him. All right, so let's see. So anybody who has like been under a rock or who is not into like Black culture and Black shows, then maybe you might not know that PValley is the new creative project from Mr. Polk. Is it Patrick Polk? Is that how you say his name? Ian Patrick Polk, or I forgot it. I should have had this ready. Is it Ian Patrick Polk? Something. He is the creator of Noah's Ark. Or am I tripping? Yeah, Ian Patrick Polk. That is who he is. He is, he created Noah's Ark. I didn't get into the Noah's Ark theme because as I think I've said before, during that time, this was a time of my life in my transits where I was annoyed we hadn't got to the point that we are in culture now, where there's a distinct difference between um, trans and gay men. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, because of where we were in culture, trans folks was trying to make it very clear in our people's lives that we were not gay men. Even though we are in community with them, those are our brothers, we are not the same thing. And so people would always lump us into the category with them, even on a like a medical level. Like anytime like research or studies or stuff was being done, we would be in the MSM category, men who have sex with men. It wouldn't be a separate thing for trans women. So during that time of my life, culturally, I was trying to separate myself from gay men in the sense of, I'm not watching this gay shit. Like, this ain't for me. This is everybody's talking about, oh, you should watch Noah's Ark. Oh, you should watch Noah's Ark. That's not for me. That's for gay men. I know who it's created for. So it was a I don't know. It was an annoying thing for me back in the day. I didn't watch the L Word. I didn't watch Queer as Folk. All the stuff that felt like it was centering gayness. During that time of my life, I was like, I am trans. I'm not that. So stop trying to push that stuff on me. So I didn't watch it. It could have been a great show, but I didn't watch it. So, we are in a different place now, which I think culturally people know the difference between trans people and gay people. And we are getting specifically for gay men programming and specifically for AKA Drag Race, specifically for trans folks programming. And so I can be more open about stuff like that. So yes, Ian Patrick Polk has created a new creative project on Starz Network, Starz. And it is called PValley. The P stands for pussy. Everybody talk about they pussy this month. So the P stands for pussy. And it is set in a fictional little small town in Mississippi. It is set in a strip club called PValley. PValley is ran by a very non-binary presenting, or not non-binary, I don't really know. Their gender expression, they look like they were born a boy, of course, and they have on hair, girl clothes, but then they have a beard. They'll have a really chiseled goatee and beard lined up in different designs, but they'll have their wig and their makeup, their lashes and their heels and their girl clothes on. And in my time growing up in my city, we would call people like, this person who runs the strip club name is Uncle Clifford. In my era, we would call Uncle Clifford a Elite. Y'all might not have heard that word, but that's what we would call him. An Elite is exactly what Uncle Clifford is. Like, this person is not intending to pass at all. Not trying to be a woman, not trying to, so I wouldn't consider them, back in my day, now we're kind of blurring the lines, but back in my day, we wouldn't consider that a trans person, but they wouldn't consider themselves a trans person either. We would call them, and they would call themselves elites. I haven't heard that word in recent queer culture, but that's what we call them. I don't know what y'all call them. What do y'all call them in y'all city? I definitely get, from Uncle Clifford, I get very gender nonconforming, not non-binary as an identity, but non-binary as a gender expression. Very that. Definitely a man, but just their gender expression is queer as fuck. Is very that. So he is the basically the madam, the person who is running this particular brick. Yeah, we wouldn't call bricks. Brick was strictly about people who were trying to pass, but they were not. Like really, you know, trans women who were trying to pass, but they just don't because of whatever. Those who we call bricks. We wouldn't call somebody like Uncle Clifford a brick because he's not trying to pass. Like they're not trying to pass. They're just this is just their gender expression that is kind of extreme. But they're not trying to be a woman. They're not trying to express their gender identity. This is just literally their gender expression in their fashion. Let's see. So he is like the madam of this strip club, and it's really just stripping. Um, so a cross dresser. No, that wouldn't be on a very technical level of I am cross dressing. I am crossing the gender boundaries on a technical, really etymological um, way in that word, sure, but not culturally. Culturally, a cross dresser has a sexual fetishization in the connotation of cross dresser. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you. Um, Cross dressers have a fetish of having the clothes on. Like cross dressers will put bra and panties on under their suits. They'll be at work and people don't know they got bras and panties on. It's a underlying cross dresser has an underlying sexual connotation to it. It's more I'm putting these clothes on because it turns me on. I'm putting these girls' clothes on because it's sexy. Where it's a secret. Um, it's I do it behind closed doors. I'll do it. Maybe I'll go to a gay club dressed up because I feel sexy and da da da. But in my regular, I have no intention in bringing that sexual fetish to my regular life because it's not a part of my identity. It's not a part of my identity. It's a part of my sexualization. It's a part of my erogenous, like a sex. Um, Clifford, this is a part of his gender expression. This is a part of his fashion, his expression of his gender. Fluid is fluid. It's you know, ultra feminine, but with the masculinity of the beard and me being a man on these clothes on a man's body. It really androgynous and fluid. He's giving you a little bit of male, a little bit of female simultaneously. Yes, intentionally in the gender expression, not identity. It's just the expression. Because I don't think, based on what I'm hearing and what I'm hearing in the language, I don't think um, Uncle Clifford identifies as a woman. That's not what I'm getting. So yes, Uncle Clifford is the person who is running this strip club. The beautifulness about this is that there is no it is giving you a glimpse into the strip club life where people are in control. It's not just a yes, transvestite and crossdresser are commonly used interchangeably. Yes. Yes. Transvestite is like an old word. It's very old. It's very old. It's very antiquated. Like even in my age, coming up, transvestite was out of style. Just call somebody transvestite was kind of like 1930s, 1950s, 1940s, 1960s transvestite. That was popular. Like remember Marsha P. Johnson and Sylvia Rivera, the Star organization that they created. The T in the Star stands for transvestite. It was a common word used, and it's kind of like what's happening now with transsexual. Transsexual is kind of getting antiquated too. People still use it, but transsexual is getting kind of antiquated. Do y'all agree? Transsexual is getting kind of people still use it when you need to make a certain context, but it's getting kind of antiquated. It's doing what transvestite did. It's changing. Thank you, Scooby, Scooby, Scooby. Uncle Clifford is creating a new lane. Good for Unc. I don't know if it's new though. I don't know if that's new. People like Uncle Clifford have been around. They have been back in my younger years. Who in my city, Indianapolis, the person who fit this particular type of person, they were always around. His name was we called him Miss Goodall. And anybody, I don't know if anybody here from Indianapolis, but when I was younger, like a kid, 14, 13, 14, in that younger age, Miss Goodall was Uncle Clifford. Clearly a man, not trying to be a girl, always got a wig on and makeup on, but may have a beard, lashes, nails done, but boy clothes on, suit. They'll go to church and sit in the back. They're church queens. They'll go to church and sit in the back, and they'll have a whole bob, but they'll have a blue men's suit on with nails, playing the tambourine. Yes, our person was Miss Goodall. My childhood hairdresser, Miss Chaz. Yes, it's they. Uncle Cliffords have been around. They've been in the world. Santana. Santana. Who is Santana? Oh, Santana. Yes, the one with the nails. Yes, the people like Santana have been around. They're not. This ain't new. They've been around. Yeah, Santana. People like Uncle Clifford. Yeah, they've been around. They were like the a lot of them. Who pray tell is on Pose? Who pray tell is? Pray tell. There's a lot of Uncle Cliffords that are in the position of leadership in community, like Pray Tell is. Um, in my era, one of the people in our city was Tamara. Tamara was always like that. She was always with her beard, but she'll have freeze curls. It'll be stacked with a swoop over her eye, baby. With jeans and a pump on, chipping through the club or through the mall, wherever. It was always they always been around. They're not new. Let me see. Yeah, most people take offense to transsexual as far as I've seen. Uncle Clifford word be like a Big Frida. Yes, Big Frida. Yes, Big Frida. That's why when we talk about like New Orleans bounce, those people have always been in the culture. They always been around. Because Big Frida old. And the people before her, like Katie Red, they that though, but I think Katie Red was transitioning. But I'm not for sure. I don't know. But yeah, Big Frida. Um, yeah, I don't like the word transsexual in regards to myself, but I don't hold anything from anybody who uses it. Yes, I don't. I use transsexual sometimes, not so as much as I did back when I was younger, but sometimes I do. Sometimes I still use it, and I don't have a problem with it. Um, my childhood hairdresser, yeah. Ooh, let me see. Anytime I saw someone like that growing up, they always had a very sad life. An elder like Raquel. Now I understand things. Yeah, it's like they've been around. They're like an elder. Hmm. I don't know. I wouldn't say that they had not in my experience. They had a sad life. My gay mom's mother was what that is. Was what Uncle Clifford is. Um, Miss Muffet from St. Louis. Muffet was, a boy, but they'll have a wig on. They'll be dressed up sometimes and in suits and hair and all that kind of stuff. Muffet. Um, I prefer to be called transsexual. There is no confusion about what I stand for. Yeah. Um, mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who else. There was a lot of them in Jackson. When I moved to Jackson, Jackson was a culture shock for me because where I was from in Indianapolis, the queens, the trans girls were the superstars of the city. They were the people who kind of shook the city, controlled the city. They were the stars. They were like, you know, when we come to the straight club, when we come to the skating rink, when we come to shit that the straight folks was going to, it would shake the city up. Like we would do fashion shows, and it would be a big thing. Like it would be a major thing. But and so the trans girls were the pillars. But when I moved to Jackson, it was the opposite. It was like the queens, the not the queens, the Butch Queens were the pillars. Like those were the niggas that ran the city in regards to queer stuff and what was going on, and who people took seriously, and who had community power. The Butch Queens. So it was a different dynamic in Jackson, and so I didn't. I had to get used to that because it wasn't like that in Indianapolis. Um, but there was a lot of elites in Jackson, Mississippi. Do you prescribe to the ideology that if you're not cis, you're trans? As in, do you consider non-binary, gender fluid folks to be trans as well? Um, I think if a non-binary person identifies as being trans, they are trans. But I think non-binary as its own identity, you can be a trans non-binary person. I think it's its own marker. Um, yeah. I'm really not into policing shit. And I think this is because I am a light skinned black woman, because my blackness has it's something that has always been questioned or policed because of my complexion. And so I don't like that shit. Like this whole Kamala shit, that shit is pissing me off. Like it this is on my podcast, with Mia and Z will laugh because Mia, every chance she gets, she's saying she's biracial. And I'm like, girl, like we know. Why are you bringing up you biracial at this random ass fucking time? But I know it's worse for them. When you are in that space, there always is a question. There's always is a motherfuckers trying to police and kick you out of the race, or say you're not black. It's always that. And I'm not even biracial, and I know I've experienced. So I know that as a biracial person. So in any other label, I'm very sensitive about people who try to say, who make arbitrary fucking markers or criteria for people to be into a certain group. I understand certain whys, but sometimes I think it's ridiculous. I think sometimes it's ridiculous. And so I don't try to police. If you identify as trans, great, you're trans. Now, in my mind, if there's some shaky shit going on, I'm like, but I won't tell them that they're not trans. Yeah, I think that's stupid. Yeah, so I don't be like, oh, you're not trans. I don't really do that. Now, if you ask me, India Moore, Angel from Pose, is non-binary and trans. People can be who they are in 2020. Yes, they can. India, I think India, but I don't think, I know, she said it. India is non-binary, have taken upon that, I've taken identity politically. So when she's around her friends can call her she, and it's not a problem. But because politically she's non-binary and she wants motherfuckers to learn, she wants anybody who's not in her personal life to call her they, them. So you can learn that you need to respect non-binary people. But in her personal life and how she navigates the world in her personal life, like a woman. And you can call her she and you can all that kind of stuff. This is what I've heard her directly say. And people who are friends, mutual friends that we have. So yeah, so I that's a whole different topic. But yes, people can be who they want to be, and I have a problem with people policing people's identities. So, back to PValley. So PValley, I think one of the things about a strip club, this is like high femme culture. Like this is where, where exploitation of the patriarchal male gaze is the cornerstone of this establishment. Exploiting men's objectification of women, men's objectification of the female body, men's undisciplined, uncontrollable need for sexual, visual and sexual entertainment. This is the cornerstone of this establishment. A strip club, the cornerstone is to exploit that through capitalism. Capitalism and objectification is king in this world. Like that is, it's not, we're not trying to dismantle it. This is a place where we want it to thrive, because when it thrives, we benefit from it. The men benefit because they get access to it unlimitedly. Well, not unlimitedly, but the intention of the space is to give them access to it if they got the coins to pay for it. And the women, hey, we get the money from it. Now, Uncle Clifford's character being in this space, being accepted in this space, being accepted as a community pillar, maybe not the respectable maybe not a respectable community pillar, but like in most cities or places like this are a part of the ecosystem of power and commerce in any city. Strip clubs. What's the entertainment of this city? When businessmen come and they're done working, what's the entertainment? The entertainment is strip clubs and fine dining, and this is what niggas, you know what I'm saying? This is what they come to. This is what makes your city fire. For men, like, what's the prostitution pool looking like? What's the escorts looking like? What they giving? What the strip clubs is giving? What the food is giving? You see what I'm saying? Strip clubs is about the culture of the city, like just like anything else, just like museums, just like theme parks, just like whatever. Strip clubs are the entertainment, cornerstone entertainment of a city, regardless if they are respectable or not. They are a cornerstone of a city. And so, how does one person like Uncle Clifford become this person with this kind of power? That, hey, Coconut, this person with this kind of power. So, of course, we know that he inherited the place. I need the backstory of that. So we haven't got to it, but I need the backstory of that, because me and my personal, just on the world, just the fact that you are what you are, people will just try to destroy what you, especially if you're in this area. It's different if you're what Uncle Clifford is, and you're trying to build a clothing line. You have a atelier or some kind of sickening seamstress business. That's a respectable business. So I can see you coming up in the ranks in fashion in the city. Yes, absolutely. But we're talking about a marginalized, hated type of person coming up in the non-respectable era, in the non-respectable arena. I'm like, even with the bribing, even with the money, I question the realisticness of that. I know, because we're watching the show, we're supposed to suspend suspend disbelief, just for the sake of watching the show and believing the show. But I cannot imagine that a real person in real life like Clifford would not be railroaded by the straight people. It's hard but even Nellie was a woman. She still was and she did things that were, I don't see where Clifford is doing things that would protect him from. Nellie did things specifically to not, and I'm not talking about just the bribing. Yes, of course you can bribe people. Yes, absolutely. But I can't imagine somebody not coming in trying to get a piece of this pie, and Clifford's, whatever you want to call it, this whole queer thing, I can't see that being something that wouldn't be a detriment. I don't think if Nellie Jackson was a trans woman, I don't think that would have existed unless there was something else that was keeping her afloat. For example, Lucy Anderson Hicks. So she had a brothel in Oxnard, California, something. And she had a brothel, but it was not, she just didn't run a brothel. She was a caterer. So she always also cooked. So it was hidden under a respectable business. The brothel was hidden under a respectable business. You see what I'm saying? So the respectable business made it look like, oh, I'm just catering to all these rich white people, blah 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 blah. So I can see how that could be a cover, and people can live for it and turn a blind eye to it. But if it was just a brothel, I can't see that being something like Uncle Clifford. I can't see that being realistic, particularly in Mississippi, because the ugliness of the police there, the racism of the police there, the the racism, the Christendom of Mississippi, I would feel like there would be uncharted pressure to shut that down. Like you're a strip club being read by a fucking thing, a it, a transgender, or whatever they would ignorantly say. Like what? Like this is devil. No. At least if it was ran by like a cishet straight man, it wouldn't be as bad. Like in the eyes of the Christians, that you being this queer person making this money over here will incite a level of vitriol from those people. And I just don't think it's realistic to think that could just a bribe to one person, because I'm only seeing one person being bribed. Just a bribe to one person and no kind of community infrastructure where you are. And that's another thing that had Nelly, that protected Nelly. Think about Nelly. Nelly wasn't just bribing police and political officers. Nelly was in community and benefiting the church folks. Remember? She was making sizable donations to the church people. You feel what I'm saying? Nelly was smart in the sense that I'm going to get the church in my bag. I'm going to get the police in my bag. I'm going to get the mayors and shit in my bag. I'm going to get all these people, the people who would vehemently be like, no, this is not happening in our town. Because that's the reason why they buried her. Remember in the documentary with Nelly, they were like, the pastor was like, she's donated more than anybody else. She was one of our most beneficial benefactors. So how dare y'all act like I'm not going to bury her at this church or do her church services either? Get out of here. Did you live in Mississippi at all? I'm curious to show how accurate the accent and verbiage are. Yes, I lived in Mississippi for 10 years. I lived in Mississippi from 1999 to 2002. I moved back to Mississippi in 2005 and stayed there until 2007. Yes. All my family is from Mississippi. And I lived in city, Jackson, and I lived in country, which is Walnut Grove, Mississippi. So I lived in the rural areas of Mississippi and the city areas of Mississippi. So, and I lived in all places. Like I lived in Jackson, Walnut Grove, Carthage, Pensacola, not Pensacola, Sebastopol, Ocean Springs, Hattiesburg, Meridian. I lived Vicksburg. I lived in a lot of places. I love the name of the town, Chucalissa. Yes, that doesn't exist, but that sounds like a Mississippi name. I lived in Pelahatchie. There's a lot of Indian names, Native American names, because the Choctaw, Philadelphia is that they have a Choctaw owned casino on their land. So yes, Mississippi, as far as the accents, some of the accents are on it. Like I like Mercedes accent, yeah, it's on it a little bit. Some of the people are not on it at all. But Mercedes is, Clifford a little bit. Because you got to understand, a queen from Mississippi is, excuse me, is still going to have some of the culture of queens everywhere because we pick up queen culture fast. And so, yeah, like some of it's a lot of overlap. If you go to different parts of the country, in the queer culture of like butch queens and stuff, you're gonna see a lot of overlap because people move around a lot, and so you're gonna, language and words and slang is gonna be kind of an overlap. There's gonna be some little nuances, but there's gonna be a lot of overlap too. So I thought that was interesting. I don't know how realistic it is, but I would love to hear the backstory of how Clifford came to be. I would love to hear the story of how, I know he's came out of prison, so he went to prison, but Big L, the partner of Little Clifford, I would love to see the backstory of their relationship. I would love them to do an episode exploring when Mercedes was in Autumn's position, new to the strip club. Yes. Another element of, I don't know if y'all ever heard of this theory. This theory is something that I learned from Dr. Joy James. Dr. Joy James is a professor at Williams College, and she talks about captive maternals. Like, you can Google it. There's different articles that she wrote about it, and she talks about a theory of people being captive maternals. And captive maternals are genderless. It's not a boy or a girl. It's not it's not man or a woman. It is somebody in the community that is caring for the people who are exploited, who are creating, who are exploited by these systems that we are under oppression. So most of the big mamas, like caring for them in creating a ecosystem of care. And sometimes that may look like exploitation, but it's not. It's an ecosystem of care. So when we talk about Uncle Clifford, this is the captive maternal in this situation where he is not, yes, in the strip club, you would think that this is a place of exploitation, but they're really just exploiting these niggas' money. These niggas, of course, the girls are getting their cut of the money, and he's keeping this system afloat to bring people in to care. Look, Autumn, you ain't got nowhere to go. You trying to be free from wherever you came from. Whatever problems you had, you can come here and you learn and do whatever skills you have, you can actually benefit and create something new if you want to, like Mercedes was trying to do. But a captive maternal actually creates the space, like creates an ecosystem of care for people to thrive in. When you think about Big Mama running numbers and selling the candy lady, that she gives loans to people in the community. She hustling, but it's with care, not without care. Because without care, what we are calling it, what I am calling it, and my friend Sam is calling it, is the arresting paternal. That could be man or woman, but a person who is exploiting without care. And that's the difference in features. A captive maternal is, she can be exploiting, but she can be exploiting, but with care. Like I care about these people, and we're just trying to make this system of fucked up shit work. And so Uncle Clifford would be a captive maternal. And Mercedes would be like a maternal adept. Like she's trying to become a captive maternal. She's trying to create this that gym that she's trying to create. She's trying to create her own ecosystem. She's trying to come from this one, use the benefits of this one to create her own way to. It's a little bit more respectable than the strip club. Does it make sense? It's a little bit more. She's trying to become a captive maternal. She's in training almost. Like she's learning from Uncle Clifford how to create her own space that is more aligned with what she wants to do. And so she will go and do the gym and create her own ecosystem of building girls up, building a space for care for the people who from her particular skill bracket or whatever. Hope that makes sense. So it's really, really interesting to see Clifford be the lead of this, be a captain maternal in this space, because we haven't seen a person like this in a big mama type of position, right? Where have we seen a story that told a story that had this type of person in that space? I just haven't seen it too much. Maybe Holiday Heart, but it was kind of jokingly. It was kind of joking. It was kind of jokingly, and it was told with the backdrop of this black drug addict mother, other than Holiday Heart. But because it was Ving Rhames, it made it kind of like a caricature. It made it a joke. So I didn't like it. So let's talk about Trey, Smarter, whatever his name is. The dude, Smarter. What do y'all think about that relationship? Uncle Clifford is going to clip Little Murder? What you mean clip? What does clip mean? Brianna is going to clip Little Murder. I live for it. Little Murder is too naive. He's young. He's not he's young. I live for it too, but somewhere in me feels like it isn't going to end well. Clip as in end the relationship. Okay. Brianna, she had said, like earlier this week, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, Brianna was critiquing the Little Murder's character. And almost like in a nostalgic way, talking about that type of trade not existing anymore. And I knew exactly what she was talking about, because I think I think that is a consequence of the work that we're doing. I think the consequence of the work that we're doing is that men who are attracted to us don't need to show up in that way. The way those type of men used to show up back in the 90s. Also, the access is different. The access is different. Men back in the 90s and early 2000s, prior to the explosion of like dating apps and social apps where you can really meet everybody in the city on one app, shit like Black Planet, shit like POF, shit like BGC, shit like Jack. Before this era where all that existed, Trey would be in community with you, and they would have to navigate and negotiate their attraction to you right there with you. Right there in the moment, right there. It isn't, ooh, I'm gonna negotiate this and this attraction to you online with nobody around. I can send you messages, da 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 da. Back in the day, niggas had to negotiate their attraction with you right there in your face, and you can see it. Like you can see, like they looking like, damn, that motherfucker kind of fine. Like, and how do I respond to this? Like, how do I respond to this situation if I want to explore it? Brianna, what's the name of your podcast? Oh, Brianna's podcast is called Box 512, named after the box that of Clairol that Tracy Africa Norman was on when she was a model. And so, yes, it is hosted by Brianna and Samaya Turner, and they are two brilliant trans women discussing, topics that are dear to us. So yeah, go follow them. Put your link up, Brianna, please. Yes, and so they're navigating this in the moment, and so there's a way that they can show up differently than now, where actually, and also back in the day, there wasn't access to all the information. We can, I don't want to say manipulate. That ain't a good word. That has negative conversation. But there's a difference between a dude who has been on the internet, who's seen Janet Mock, who's seen Laverne, who have had arguments with people on Instagram, in the comments, and on Facebook, and have seen this article and seen this article of all these various fucking opinions and viewpoints about transness. Back in the day, niggas would meet you and they don't have any context of a trans person. And so when they meet you and you are this attractive, beautiful woman, and you have to explain transness, you're explaining it on a clean slate. You are explaining it from your own perspective so they can understand you from your own perspective. And you can explain it in a way that's more palatable to a dude who is straight, who doesn't understand why he is interested in you, or who wants to have some type of relationship with you, whether it be just sexual or more, and they haven't figured that out. They haven't because you're able to coach them, like you're able to explain things as questions come up, and build the relationship from an authentic place. That's not like some dudes that you meet now. They got all this bullshit about transness built up already because of what they read or what some other girl told them, or blah, blah, blah. And so you got to break all of that shit down so you can even be in community with them or be in something with them. So I think that because of the work that we are doing, one of the consequences, and I don't want to say it's negative, one of the consequences is that it's going to be a lot of hard no's. It's going to, people, instead of it being people meeting you and figuring it out in the moment, people have already made up their minds because they have so much context. They're not willing to explore. They're not willing to look past all the negative shit that they may have experienced online. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. Like, there's dudes who've never met trans people in their life, but because they have engaged with the trans topic online, and all their homeboys on their Facebook list is like, So now they're learning that it has to be Where if they would have met me in high school before all of that, Do you see what I'm saying? When we were cool, and they can relate to me on a different kind of way, I'm able to show them the humanity of myself instead of all your homeboys and and teaching you that it's I hope that makes sense. Because I just feel a difference in meeting people. Now, perfect example. Back in the day, if you're on a dating site, you didn't see people putting on their profiles, no trans women, no prostitutes, no hoes, no da 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 da. They didn't have none of that shit on their profile back in the day. Now, every profile you go to, I'm not into the TS stuff. They didn't have that shit on their profile back in the day. Because it wasn't this mainstream thing. It just wasn't. And so we didn't experience, we didn't have that. Like you would tell a boy your tea and they're like, what's that? And then you can explain it. And they're like, oh, how did you get this? Well, how? And it could just start into a conversation and lead to, oh, well, I don't mind meeting you. It just was different. Like we didn't, and I can't say if that's a good or bad thing. I can't say if it's a good or bad thing. But, but now everybody has a context that they can lead, let's take it out of the transness and think about Blackness. Because of the internet, there are Black concepts that are becoming popular, like on Black Twitter, like when we talk about at a Black Thanksgiving, when we expose some of the culture of ourselves, some of the intimate knowledge about our community that white motherfuckers are not into. Like when we talk about let's just chill or da-da-da, and they talk about Chile. And they don't know when we talking about by Felicia, and they think they don't even know who the fuck Felicia is. They don't even know where that concept come from. That is what that's quintessentially what niggas is doing now. Like they are being exposed to something that was kind of underground or kind of in a particular community, and it's transforming into something else where you're like, you got something new happening, and it's because it's being exposed to the world. So I do think, anyway, go back to the characters. I think it's beautiful. First of all, he's been playing in a lot of good stuff. The actor who plays Lil Murder, he played Tiffany Haddish's boyfriend and husband on Self-Made. He played in some other stuff too. He's an actor. I was like, oh, okay, you are acting, because that's not how he looks. Well, that's his face, but this little thug, this is a costume. But if we go back to what I was talking about in regard to Uncle Clifford being a captive maternal, although this is what's happening, remember I said a captive maternal is a person who is creating this ecosystem where people who have been thrown away or marginalized can thrive and get some kind of access to capital to be able to do something else. So because Pink, which is the strip club's name, PValley, because Pink is the ecosystem, and it's rooted, like I said, the cornerstone is objectification of the female body, da-da-da-da. Lil Murder knows is another person who needs access to this kind of capital. So he knows he has to go through Clifford. He has to go through Mercedes. He has to get his song on and played, and she has to dance to it, because that's how high film culture, me and Sam talked about this, high film culture, strip clubs and sex workers, the Black ones, that this is where you have to go through us. Like, you have to go through us to be accepted. If rappers want motherfuckers to like their song, you like them, they have to have a song for the ladies. You just can't just be doing shit for niggas. Even though it's a male dominated field, you have to get the chicks involved. You got to get the chicks on board to your brand, or you're not going to be a successful rapper. When it comes to Black culture, weird Black femmes are the gatekeepers. When it comes to culture. Now, when it comes to power, men are the gatekeepers to that. Capitalism, da-da-da-da. But when it comes to culture, what is deemed hot? What is deemed fire? What is the shit? What's the it thing in Black culture? You have to come through Black films. You have to. If that shit whack, it's whack. If we say it's whack, it's whack. It's not gonna hit on nothing. And he knows that. So he knows he in this particular ecosystem where Black femme is king, he knows he has to, if he want to get his song on, he has to come through Uncle Clifford and Mercedes, which is like the two main motherfuckers in the show. I gotta get Mercedes. It can't be one of the little girls on the lower end of the spectrum of the girls dancing. It has to be Mercedes. I gotta have her stamp. I have to, I gotta work it through you. He can't work the system because he's not a woman. He can't come work the system like Autumn can, trying to learn and grow up in the ranks. He has to go through another way. He has to go through bringing some dick, bringing some better music that we can play in this motherfucker. For you to get into the groove of things of this fucking ecosystem, you got to be bringing something of entertainment value. And if you're trying to pop off, you got to go through them. And so I think that's quite interesting about their relationship because, he's trying to get it popping. He's trying to get his music popping. Not that I think it's just solely about I'm trying to use Uncle Clifford. I don't think it's that. I think he's attracted to Uncle Clifford. He's attracted to, damn, you a boss ass motherfucker, and you this queer thing that I'm willing to explore with. Let's go. Let's see what's happening. What's up? And niggas be like that. Niggas be like that. It be some niggas that, I'm not fucking shouting it off the rooftop that I'm queer, but I know I can explore this if I want to explore it, and I'm gonna do that. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I love that he isn't also bodied in a queer, to please cis queer men. I love that he has a thicker body. I love that Uncle Clifford has a thicker body. That older man body build, because that is perfect. That is, to me, there's so many motherfuckers navigating sex with trade and sex with other men, and they have regular bodies. It's not, because this is what I see in the world. Yes, I see some ones with some, shapes that stay in the gym and blah, blah, blah. But I also see some regular body ass butch queens, ones that super, super skinny, that like fucking teenage little boys, but they grown men. And then you got the plump, the plump one that's thick, that's fat, that's started and getting the trade just like the skinny ones. And so I love that in this particular show, Uncle Clifford he has one of those bodies you haven't seen, queer Black male bodies that you haven't seen on screen like that. You just haven't. Yeah, most of the time you see them and that gay men, they're buff and cute, attractive, da 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 da. Not that Uncle Clifford is not attractive, but yeah, you don't see his type of body. What else? So let's talk about Patrice and Mercedes. So Patrice is the church mama, trying to come up in the ranks on the church, and they are typical church folks. Don't want her to preach on the pulpit, all that kind of shit. So she's using the daughter stripper whole money to she using her money to build the account so they can get a loan from the bank, while at the same time judging her daughter about working at the club. You're using the money that she's getting, but to boost the church up. What's going on with the people's tithes, honey? Why y'all can't build y'all account up with the people's tithes? What kind of preaching y'all doing? If y'all not touching the people's spirit enough to put a little taint in the motherfucking plate. What's going on with that? But anyway, she had to use her daughter money. And so she, in the end, steals her daughter money to put it towards getting her own church. And I hadn't watched it before. I had seen people's comment on this particular episode. And and Mercedes fought her mama because she stole her $20,000. And look, I can't tell you what I would do in the moment. I like to believe that I wouldn't fight my mama over no money. I like to believe. I strongly believe that I wouldn't fight my mama over no coins. But $20,000 is a lot of money. I really think that I don't think I would fight my mama, but this bitch bet not have nothing around me that is worth money. If she ever, because everything you have, I'm taking. until I get my $20,000 worth. You are not going to have no new car. You are not going to have nothing when I get done with you after stealing my coins. You probably going to want to twirl me because, honey, you steal my coins, baby. I can't promise you that I won't twirl you. But because the anger might just say, oh, and I black out and wear you out. But I do think that I know she wouldn't get away with it. Patrice is a messy ass bitch. It's not even just the fact that she stole the money. She spent it on a building that Mercedes wanted to buy. Yes, the symbolism of that. So disrespectful. Absolutely. Not only did you just take the money and didn't go do it somewhere else, you literally take my building. Shady. It's not even just the fact that she stole her money. Yeah. I would have been more hurt because I would have given my mama the money if she really needed it and don't steal my shit. But she wouldn't have gave it to her. That was money that she worked, that she was about to build her own dream with. She wouldn't have gave it to her. She wouldn't have gave it. I wouldn't either. Especially if I had a dream. Now, if it's just sitting in my account and she wants to open her own church, maybe. But she was trying to build her own thing. Like, it's different. I just have 20 saved up and my business is going, blah, 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 blah. And my mama need a loan or need something to start her own shit. Then I could give it to her. But she wouldn't have gave it to her because she was trying to build her own. She was trying to build her gym, her little majorette gym. Yeah. I didn't like that. I didn't like, that was shady as fuck. Another element is that when she got locked up for fighting her mama, what I didn't like that Uncle Clifford didn't get Mercedes out of jail. I thought that wasn't a good writing decision. I feel like she's your main girl and she's in this bind. I'm much if I and I got 50, I got 57. Now, mind you, her bind at the moment we didn't get the tea about the extra fees, but at the moment we are thinking that her bond is $2,500 or $22,000. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, Marquita, I know, but I still don't think that would have happened. I don't think it should have happened. I don't think he should have listened to her. I think he should have got her out. Think about it. If I need, because her excuse was, you got $5,500 that you need to get so the pink don't close. You got $5,500. Don't be spending them thousands on me to get me out. My mind is, bitch, you my main chick. I got to, if I can get 55, I can get 57. If you only need 2,000 to get out, bitch, if I can get 55, bitch, I can hustle to get 57. So, and I can hustle to get 57 with you easier. We can all be out trying to make this money so Pink can stay open, and we can try to get your 20,000 back that your mama just fucking stole. But I can't do that with you in jail. I need to be you my family. We in this hustle together. Why would I leave you in jail when you is one of the money makers? And I can market and do our thing. Why would I leave you in jail? I can get to the goal easier with you. And you just lost $20,000, bitch. So you broke too. Let's get this money. Why would I leave you in jail? I don't think that was a realistic writing decision. I just don't think, yeah. You just lost $20,000 of your money, bitch. You back broke. Mismanagement of money. There's a lot of people who have businesses that mismanage money. Yeah, I have an aunt who makes tons of money in her business, but she mismanaged her money. So she always got money coming in, but it's always going out too. So it's never saved up. And sometimes shit'll not go right. And honey, she'll call me and be like, ooh, can I borrow this amount of money? And she make more money than me. But because of how she mismanaged her money, she got to borrow from my broke ass. She always paid me back, of course. But it's just something about, there's some people who just don't have money they have money making skills, but they don't have money management skills. But just for the sake of writing, I can see, okay, I'm not just from a writing standpoint, I'm not gonna let Uncle Clifford get her out of jail, because we need to build character arc wise, we need to build the relationship between Mercedes and Autumn, because Autumn is you can tell she's being a main character. Something about her past is about to come and rock us, because based on her memories and her flashbacks, something is coming in regards to Autumn. So I can see them building the relationship between Autumn and her. Autumn giving her money to get Mercedes out of jail, creating, a loyalty or a friendship or camaraderie with them, because that's going to work in the favor of storytelling down the line. So, I can see. I don't like Autumn at all. I never really like Autumn's type of characters. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them. Anybody that, like in Orange is the New Black, like I don't like Piper's character. Not just because she's a white woman, but the type of character that Piper is, I don't like those characters. I don't like, I'm trying to think of another story that's like that. What's that? What's the one on Set It Off? What's the one on Set It Off? The one with the kids. I need this money, Cleo. I need this money. What is her name? TT. Like TT. I don't like TT type characters. I don't like naive acting characters. Naive. I'm learning. I'm learning the ropes. Shit like that. I don't like characters like that. But you need them. You need them in storytelling. They need to hurry up and make Autumn more interesting. Chick has been a little stale these past episodes. Yeah. Yeah. Don't think the daughter is dead either. Probably not. I wonder, is Patrice going to get her own church? The Sid, you said that the church scene, the praying scene in the jail was cringy. Yes, which I was like, but what it could be setting you up is those ladies that was locked up. That jail scene was weird too. I don't know no jails are set up like that. All that shit. The random trans woman with the dudes. That jail scene, I don't think it was thought out. It was thought out well enough. I think they just was trying it. But that jail scene was weird. Them being in this one big old holding cell and fighting, and I'm like, child, no, y'all didn't think these scenes out. Yeah, honey, y'all didn't think these scenes out. So that was cringy as fuck. But I'm glad that. But what I'm thinking is these ladies that she's ministering to, they could be her members of her church. Yeah. The ones that were at the jail, because she ministered to them. Clearly they was feeling it. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go to her church. She was powerful. I remember she was preaching to us in the holding cell, in the belly of the beast. And honey, she inspired me to be a better person. She has the charisma to make them come be members to her church. I love Mercedes and Mississippi. Does anybody else get crunk when they spell out her name? Yes. M-I. Quick letter, I. Quick letter, I. Humpback, I. That is my shit. I live. I do live. I don't live for her as a character because she's a Mercedes character to me too. Were they too naive? Yeah, I don't like them. I live for Mercedes. I live for the other girl that be farting because she eating the wings. Oh, she's funny. I live for Diamond, the dude that is a bouncer. I live for that dance to over love. What's that? I live for that dance to over love. What you mean by that? What's that? Who else? But they about to clash. You know, Mercedes and Mississippi about to clash. Because when she didn't show up for her last dance, you know, Mississippi got her life. And it's hard when you go up there and you rock it and you get your life and niggas is living for you. It's hard. Oh, yeah, when he did. Yeah, okay, yeah. And you know, this your jam. You got this new song this hot. Yeah, Over Love. Okay, I got it. So yeah, you living, you know, you getting your life. It's hard to go back to number 2. It's hard to go back to number 2, honey. They gonna make them clash. They got to. They already set it up. You think Mercedes gonna come back and be number 1? Mm-mm. I don't know. I have an issue with that. I don't think they're gonna clash. What else? I haven't seen the newest episode, but I heard that Loretta Devine is in it. Mercedes says she's not going back. So I haven't seen the newest episode. The last episode I saw was Mercedes was crying in the car with Autumn. I haven't seen the newer one. But what did Mercedes expect? How you gonna dance from the jail cell, girl? If anything, Mississippi did her solid. Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I know they're gonna clash. So I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the episode with Loretta Devine in it. But I hope that's the backstory of how Clifford got to this point. Because you had to have a level of a certain freedom to be this person that you are. You had to be raised by a woman who gave you a certain freedom. Do you feel what I'm saying? Like he had to have a supportive grandma or a supportive mama who let him become this person, who gave him the freedom to become this person in this town where everybody know him. He had to have a mama. And if they make his mama like not accepting, that would be so fucking strange to me. That would be so strange and weird. It has to be a mama that is like a hustler, that is like a that accept him. I love when Clifford points those two fingers. So what do y'all think? So y'all made predictions. Y'all made prediction that he gonna cut off Lil Murder. What do y'all think Little L's relationship with Big Clifford, not Little L's, Big L's relationship with Clifford is? Like I know it's platonic, it's not romantic, but how is their relationship? Like, is it because I don't think that's his brother. I want to know how their relationship grew to where it is. I know he came out of prison. I know he had been to prison. I want to know how their relationship grew to where it is, where he's running the numbers, like he's literally doing the count for Uncle Clifford. Because that requires a lot of trust. I want to know how they got to that position. I would love that backstory. Who else? Yeah, that's it. Another situation that I love is the mayor. So the mayor. So I love that. That's another that goes back to what I was saying, Brandon. Thank you, Sid. Thank you. That goes back to what I was telling you, what I said, Brandon, about I have to suspend disbelief with this Uncle Clifford character, because think about how Uncle Clifford is navigating these spaces. He's navigating with a certain level of power. When he went in with how many queer niggas you know, like Uncle Clifford, is just walking up in a motherfucking barbershop and sitting next to a motherfucking mayor, like pushing his power. Like that is rare. I need to know. I need to know the backstory of how Clifford got these kind of balls, my nigga. Do you see what I'm saying? Like this is a barbershop. Like you coming in there with this blonde, platinum blonde, fucking Beyonce ponytail at the top, long at the bottom, heels. That type of power and confidence come from a place. I need to know the backstory of where that came from, because that's not normal. Even if we have some power, how we have to navigate that power as queer people is going to be different. It's not going to be bold in your face. Do you see what I'm saying? Because that can tip to violence so quickly. It can tip to people not liking you. And because you are not cisgender, because you are queer, people can turn on you. So you coming in a barbershop to push up on this mayor? Yeah, honey. That was kind of I can't say I didn't like to see it, wear it out. But it is, I needed to suspend disbelief because I'm like, would you really do that? Who would I know some queer folks with a lot of power. Would they do that? No. They'll sneak. It's queer folks who got power, to me, they always play it smart and do shit sneaky. They like, let me go behind your back and make a deal over this way so it can fuck up your deal over here. Let me, it's sneaky because they can't be bold like cisgender folks or, non-queer folks. Because the moral, quote unquote, morals is not on our side. So we have to, we got to make it work. We got to scam you. Because we can't just be bold. Yeah, it's just not the same thing. So yeah, it is. It just seems unrealistic. But I wanna see how it plays out. But I feel like they can explain it. They can explain with a good, well-written backstory, explain how, because it could be remnants of power that's already been cultivated from whoever he whoever he whoever he whoever he was reared by, whoever he inherited this by, whoever it was, they could have taught him taught him how to navigate a space of power. I need that. I need that backstory, and I need it to be realistic for me to believe that this is realistic. Because I'm not here for it. Hey RM, how are you? Hello, my love. Before the sun sets and after it goes down. It's not realistic. Don't get your hopes up. Yes, but that would make it brilliant writing. That would make it brilliant writing. That would make it like, ooh, y'all explained it, or made it more realistic a little bit. Yeah. This is Rhonda from Seattle. Hey, Rhonda. How do you feel about Mayor's godson? So who is godson? I missed your stories, Diamond. I don't have too many stories that y'all ain't heard. I ain't that old, bitch. um, hey, Prince, how are you? Uh, who's the godson? Is that the white? Is that the one who has the? He's the creep. The godson is weird. Godson. The high yellow slave baby. Is that rude to say? Not slave baby. The one that it had that got the white brothers that inherited the money from the white daddy. Is that Corvin? Is that his name? Colvin or Corvin? Andre? Is he a creep? What was creep? Maybe I missed something. What did Andre do that was a creep? What made him a creep? I thought he was not the creep. I thought the light skinned boy was the creep. I thought the light skin almost white boy was creep. I didn't think Andre was a creep. I was creepy about Andre. He just didn't see it for him. Oh, okay. He has creep tendencies. I don't know. I feel like she was playing it up, like she was trying to seduce him, and he was taking the bait. Yeah, the creepy one was the light skinned one to me. And their relationship, Autumn's and Andres, y'all be moving. This is another thing for me that I don't like about certain shows that I don't have as good a writing is y'all making too much of emotional connection too fast. Like y'all making Andre and Autumn, y'all got too much emotional connection for y'all just to have met at a strip club. it all is not it's not building up in an authentic way for me. And I don't know if you can do that fast. But I'd be like, what? I'll be like, y'all too emotionally connected on like some real relationship shit. It's too fast. It's like, girl. Especially if y'all done had things that y'all have some trust issue things, like y'all breaking trust. You done played you in your house to get shit off your computer. Like immediately, I would be like, it would be over. It would be like, no, I can't trust this bitch. She trying to play me, and we just met, and y'all on some undeniable love. Like, oh, I still forgive you. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird. This customer be tripping me out. The dude who wanted Mississippi to just lay there. She looked dead. One of the most unsexiest moments at the pink. Now, the thing about it, Brandon, anybody who has done sex work know that you come across some weirdos and you don't know where their sexuality goes. And some stuff is like, ooh, this is exciting to explore. And some stuff is like, all right, I know I'm gonna have to charge you extra for that. I'm gonna have to charge you a little bit extra. Do you got more rate, baby? Do you have some more money, baby? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I need more coins. So when it gets real weird and creepy, now some stuff I need my coins no matter what. But some stuff you like, oh, this sounds interesting. She looked like she was dead. Honey. I'm pretty big in my local kink BDSM community. Those sorts of things are run of the mill. It's very vanilla. Like light skinned dudes wanting slave play, pretty standard. Yeah, yeah. Some of this is what vanilla people consider out there ain't really out there for the BDSM. Watch him because he's trying to kill a bitch. Yes. You know what, Tammy, Yami? In my mind, I want to get into the kink and BDSM culture here in Houston, but I don't really know how to do it. What are some tips on how to get into the culture since you're big in your local culture? Give me some tips. We missed you. Where have you been? I have been here. I do a live show every week, Friday at 7 o'clock. You have to click the notification bell so you can know when I get on. Well, I found my people on a website called Fet Life. They have local groups. Before you can really get into it, they have social events called Munches. Yes, I heard about those. You can go to a public. Does size matter? What are you talking about? Um, Restaurants usually have some food. Talk to people. Oh, public restaurant usually have some food. Talk. Oh, okay. So munches. So let me write it down so I know. So go to a site called Fit Life. Fit Life. Go to the munches. That's a sexy name. Munches. Like lunch, but with men. Munches. Banana size. Yeah, I think Ali, you tripping. We don't do that here, baby. Sorry. Restaurant usually have. Okay, yes. So, okay. How do you get invited? Do you just show up to the social events, or you'll find out that it's a munch happening through Fet Life? What can I expect at these munches? Because I'm kind of shy, especially if it's a lot of white people. I'm gonna be like, because I ain't, that ain't really my stilo. If that ain't really my cup of tea. So how do I get what? Do I just sit at the restaurant and hope somebody comes up to me and say hi? You can RSVP through Set Life. Okay, munches are public for everyone usually, so everyone can go. Nothing kinky happens at munches. Yeah, I would hope not. It's like a way to make sure you're not a psycho. How? Like if you're just popping in, how do they know I'm not crazy? Give me an estimate of groups. Like how many are in the munch? Like is it like 10 people, 5 people, 3 people, 20 people? Yeah, exactly. You opt in, socialize. Sometimes they have a vetting process that takes place. I've gone to munches that only had like 5 people, then others that had like 20. Okay, it depends on how vast your local king population is. Interesting. So I've heard about a lot of racism, a lot of weird, now I'm not against race play. I am not playing I'm not submissive, so I wouldn't be a submissive. But like if it was a white guy that wanted me to be a dom and race play in that way, I can do that. That sounds like fun if he has my rate. Is it always now the thing about it is asking for some coins shunned on, or is it or is this a space where you're trying to be free kink? Mm. Look at her shape. Yes. Give me this body. Fat phobia. Hmm. What's the demographic? What is the tell me about your first one. Okay. Both there are plenty of professional doms who make friends and also clients at this sort of thing, but you probably have to check the organizer to see what's acceptable. So the organizer is what who set the standards. I've encountered it in a lot of kink spaces, yes. Fat phobia in a lot of kink places. Well, I can imagine that it is all the shit that we experience in the regular world, we would experience in a kink world because, a lot of people's desires are rooted in racism and fat phobia and transphobia and sexism and misogyny and all those things. I can imagine that you can come across that. I've encountered a lot of kink spaces. Yes, 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 yes. I can imagine that. Let me think. What would be your kink, Sid? What would be your kink? And Yami, what is your kink? Like, what are you into? I don't even know what I would be called. So I would want to be predominant. I would want to be a switch, but I would predominantly be a dom. There's some switch stuff that I like. Um, I want to be paid. I want to be spoiled and worshipped. Um, I can play embrace plays. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be for me, but I could play that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I like that. I like being, I like being worshipped. My feet are one of my spots. So my feet. I'm a switch dom with masculine people and a sub with femme people. Oh, that's interesting. That's fun. Is that rooted in lack of trust of masculine people? You never had a dom masculine person? I think I couldn't do a dom masculine person because I don't trust them. I think I would really have to be in like a long term relationship that have established a lot of trust for me to be in a submissive position with a masculine person. I love orgasm mushroom. What's that? Mm, that sounds fun. I love making masculine people vulnerable. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. That's definitely a fun one. I don't know. Yeah, there's a guy from my high school who I have been dealing with since high school. And we have a very dom and submissive relationship. He likes me to treat him like a bitch. Like it literally turns him on. And he says it's because every other person in his life treats him like he a king, like he got it going on, and I treat him like he ain't shit. And for some reason, that makes him basically make him feel like a bitch, and he lives for it. It's something that has been the dynamic of our relationship from the beginning. Like I've always been more dominant than him, and I always talk down to him. Always. But we live too far for us to explore it on a more deeper level. But I would love to have a person like him in my city where we entertain conversation. Like we entertain each other. It's called worship instead of torture because it makes someone come excessively till it almost hurts. Oh, okay. Sounds like it'll feel good until it hurts. So, I don't know if I want to do that. I'm not really into the pain thing. Um, yeah. I think I would want somebody. I think I would want somebody that was. If he would be perfect if he lived in my city. So I need somebody who I enjoy their company. I can enjoy being around them. Have you ever been asked to put a masculine presenting male in drag? I have. That ain't really. I'm not into anything that's like cross dressery. That ain't really my thing. I've done it just to get paid, like with clients and shit. But my personal kink, my personal kink does not involve anything that have to do with cross dressing or mixing up genders. Most of the guys that I've dealt with can't handle that sort of thing. Sadly, they think they can't at first, but then when you get there, they're like, "Oh no, right, right." And he's the only one that I've in my life. It wasn't like a oh no. It was a more of it was some resistance in the beginning, but it wasn't like a nah. It was like, wait, what's happening? Like, cause we not earlier in my years with him, although I was dominant, my ideas about sex was women do this, men do this. So we didn't navigate any of the queer, switching positions of what we did in sex. It was I do the girl stuff, you do the boy stuff. And these was the rules that I set, not him, because he wanted to explore everything. And I was like, no, that's gay. Because I was young and dumb. And, trying to fit the standards of cis heteronormativity. And so, but as we got older and I was more exploratory in my sex life, we started doing stuff. And it flipped to where I was only fucking him and he was only giving me head. Like it wasn't me giving him head and him fucking me. And so it was one time I came back home to my city, to Indianapolis, and he had got a hotel room and he just thought that he was going to come in and he was going to be able to plunge me down and blah, blah, blah. And I had a whole thing coming for his ass, baby. I had banged his cakes out, nutted all over his booty and his back, and left. I'm out of here. And he was texting me like, what just happened? And I was like, oh, I just wanted some ass, nigga. And he was like, so you really just left me in this hotel after fucking me? Whoa. And baby, ever since then, he has been lusting for that kind of action. Oh, you made me feel like such a bitch. I ain't never felt like that before. Oh, damn. Shit. But he's so funny. He's he's a funny person, not just sexual. He's a funny, like a comedian, funny person. And so I enjoy talking to him and we have some good conversations. So being around him isn't annoying. Being around him isn't annoying. Like, you know, some dudes, like I have another dude that like to be dominated, but that's where it stops. Like it's never nothing else in our interaction I enjoy. It's like, so him, I need some coins. I need some you got to pay me. But my other friend, I can be around him without, you know, feeling like I need some money out of this. This is stupid. Like we enjoy each other company. We talk on the phone all the time, that kind of stuff. I remember developing a friendship with this guy. Later, he confided in me his strong desire to live as trans, although he knew based upon the life he already created was impossible. Mm. Yeah, I met people like that. That's not really what I would want to get into. I don't want to navigate. Look, I navigate transness in my own life. I do not want to navigate nobody's transness. That's one of the things. One of the reasons why I think I haven't dated trans men long termly, because dealing with somebody's dysphoria and their transness and all that shit, I feel like, oh, good. I don't want to have to deal with no trans stuff. I don't want to have to deal with none of that. I don't have to deal with any identity stuff in regards to gender identity. I want the person that I engage with to be, you can be sexually exploratory, but I want you to be a man. I want you to want to be a man. I want you to be okay. I want you to be cisgender. I also need you to like cisgender women. I want a guy who likes I want a guy who likes pussy. I want a guy who because one of my things that I want to explore is that. So I'm not going to explore a cisgender woman by myself. I have no interest in that because I don't have. This is going to sound bad, but we talk about sex, so I don't have to be politically correct about sex. In my sex life, I have no interest in cisgender women besides their vagina. So when I hook up with the right guy, I would want a cisgender woman who wants to play with us, who wants to play with us and have fun. I don't want to be in a relationship with her, but I want to include her in our play because of her vagina. Does that make sense? And I would want to choose a cisgender woman who wants to play like that without emotional connection. So that's that. So he has to, but I want him to be able to perform well with the vagina. You feel what I'm saying? I want him to be, I want him to know how to please vagina. I want him to know how to, engage in that way so we can explore. Deshaun said, no vaginas for me. Yeah, I find I'm an oral person. Like I'm an oral person. That is the cornerstone of my sexuality and fantasies, oral. So it includes body parts of all kinds. So I'm attracted to masculinity. So what would be a perfect scenario is if it was me, a cisgender man, and like a young ma, like a stud woman. Yes, but I feel that would be difficult. Not necessarily difficult, but difficult if he is if the dude that I'm picking to be my play friend, I would want him to be attracted to femininity. So he probably would be more attracted to a high femme a high femme cisgender woman. And I could, because it's really just about the vagina, I could include a high femme. But but what my ideals would be him and like a stud lesbian. That would be hot. That would be super cool. I would like that. I also have never messed around with two dudes before, and I want to explore that, but in a not in a like a train running a train on me kind of way. Uh-uh. It would be in a more I'm still dominating them, but it's just two penises to play with. The brat is masculine, but she's feminine too, in a sense. Maybe her. No, she's not my type. I like um I like Young Ma. I like Snoop from The Wire. I like that extreme masculine. But I no not because I kind of like Lena Waithe a little bit. Um, Let me see if I can show y'all my love. She's perfect, but if she was darker, she would be perfect. But this one is so my too. It's not. It's not doing. It's not zooming in so y'all can see her. She's so fucking cute. Let me see if it zoom in. Yeah, her name is. I'm not really for sure. I think I'm not really. I don't think this is a. I don't think this is a trans man because I think they talk about being a lesbian. Um, I'm not 100% for sure. But their name on Twitter is Rico's Art. RICOSART. So fine. Oh, so gorgeous. Yeah, that's more of my type. That whatever that got going on, I need all of that. Just super masculine of the center, cute, beautiful. My tea. I need all of that. Yeah. So somebody like that would be perfect. But because I'm attracted to men who like femininity, usually when I find a dude that's willing to do it, they want it to be some bad bitch like Amber Rose or somebody with a that's a little out of our range, but but somebody high film as well. Um, yeah, not that they wouldn't play with whoever I brought, but that's usually what they want. But yes, you got me thinking about wanting to be. I think I am a part of Fed Life. Let me but I wasn't hitting on nothing. I think it's a We all gonna be on there. Everybody. Fetlife.com. I'm about to put it in the chat. Promotion. Everybody come over to the King. Well, all right, y'all. It is 2:06. So I have had a wonderful conversation with y'all. It really hit or miss depending on where you are. In my college town, it was fire. But when I moved to a smaller town, girl, snooze fest. Well, I'm in Houston, so it better be popping, bitch. We gonna see what it is. There's an app that I started that's from Fed too. That's a Fed. It's called Fetter. This right here. Mm, oh man, I need a new phone. It's called Fetter. Yes, it's called Fetter. Fe. It's like Fet, but instead of Fet Life, like you're a Fetter. Fetter. Do you like TikTok? No, I don't. I have TikTok if you want to follow me. I just haven't got into the on every social media site. Even if I don't like it, I make a I make a profile just in case I'll start liking it. So yes, Diamond Style, same thing, same thing, same thing here at Diamond Styles. Yeah. Yeah, make sure y'all thumbs up. I haven't gotten the swing of TikTok. I think that's for young folks, and I'm not. I'm losing my creative edge. There we go. So yes, but yes, make sure y'all thumbs up. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you subscribe. Hit the bell notification if you have not already. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Same exact thing. If you got a couple coins, um, become a patron. I always put my um, my exclusive stuff I put on my Patreon. There's a lot of videos over there. That's usually where I'm gonna put anything that I like last time, like with the Kim, I gave it I put it up for people to watch it, and then once it's done, I take it and put it on my and put it on my Patreon on as an unknown, unlisted, just so people who have contributed get to see the stuff. um, what else? Any of Marsha's Plate videos? Marsha's Plate is free. You hear the show for free, but the uncut, uncensored stuff is on Patreon. What else? What else? What else? What else? What else? Yes, I do consider writing a novel. I am currently writing a novel. I am talking to an editor. Um, I'm currently writing a novel now. I don't like writing, just so you know. I don't like writing. And so I know that once I get done with this big book, I will never write another book. Well, I don't want to say never, but I don't like writing. I don't like the idea. I have it's not, I don't know if it's ADD. I don't think I have ADD, but sitting down in front of a computer and just writing is quite annoying. I get distracted. I'll pick up my phone. I can't focus on stuff like that. I have to have engagement, but sitting down just writing, I don't like that. I'm more of a storyteller, writing it out. And a lot of people, because I'm a good storyteller, people think that I would be a good writer. And so, and I don't even want to say that, I am a good writer. Like when I can sit down and do it, like, so when I started shopping my book around the people, I wrote the first 3 chapters out. And so that because I was in a zone of writing 3 chapters. Ooh, da 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 da. And when I show it to people, everybody like, whoa, like this is good. You need to continue, da 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 da. So it's just, yeah. it's like, oh, child. I just know once I get done with this book, child, I'm not gonna write again. Because this is hectic. I would love a ghostwriter, but that costs money. That costs money to get somebody to write it for you. Yeah. So, and I'm broke. How about that? Once I get up there, I might do that. Have somebody write it for me. Yes. But anyway, make sure y'all thumbs up and follow me on all social media. I do have an event tomorrow. I did this last year. Oh shit, my phone is about to die. I posted it on March. Yeah, my phone is about to die, so I'm not going to be able to show it to y'all, I don't think, in time before my phone dies. It is comics and advocacy for the Women's in Comics Conference, Flame Con. And yes, it is tomorrow at 7 p.m. on the Geeks Out Facebook and FlameCon Facebook. So Geeks as in like Geeks, Geeks out on their YouTube and on their Facebook. And I will be on a panel talking about advocacy and stuff like that. That will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, which is 6 p.m. Central, which is 4 p.m. Pacific, I think, yeah. So yes, thumbs up. I will talk to y'all next week. Make sure you watch PValley. So if we talk about it again, y'all are caught up, and I will see y'all next week. Or whenever I get on, y'all know I might pop on when I'm bored. But all right, y'all. Have a good night.